Connie Boswell, Bob Benchley, Billy Goodman, Eddie Green, Raymond Page, and the Canteen Orchestra. Stand by. Curtain up for victory. Good evening, everybody. This is Bert Lytell, Officer of the Day, bidding you folks at home to join your boys in uniform as Corn Products Refining Company, one of the producers of pure dextrose, food energy sugar, again throw open the doors for another radio visit to the famous Stage Door Canteen of the American Theater Wing. Stars, players, personalities of the entertainment world, as hostesses, waiters, busboys, and performers, again play host to thousands of our boys in the uniforms of our United Nations. The supper dishes are cleared away, smokes are passed, the gang's card up close to the little canteen stage, and it's time to bring up the curtain. Here we go, the most popular hostess in the canteen tonight, the one and only Connie Boswell.
Thanks, Bert. I'm happy to be elected. Fellas, I've got a song here for you tonight, and I do hope you're going to go for it. Captain Page, if you'll bring up some of the musical reinforcements, we'll try to win a few of these manly hearts with Why Don't You Fall in Love with Me. As long as you're not in love with anyone else, why don't you fall in love with me? You're driving me crazy, baby, trying to guess. Will you tell me no or will you tell me yes? You gotta go overboard for someone someday. Believe it or not, it's bound to be. As long as you're not in love with anyone else, why don't you fall in love with me? Oh, I love you so, so why don't you fall in love with me?
Thank you, Connie Boswell. Fellows, we interrupt the flow of our entertainment now to inject a serious note. We feel that part of our responsibility in the canteen should be to bring before you boys certain individuals whose training and background equip them well to speak to you with the solemn words of advice. The first of these speakers, I'm happy to say, is a distinguished gentleman whom at least you know by reputation. May I present Dr. Robert Benchley, noted world traveler, military expert, ichthyologist, famous numismatist, and a notary public. Dr. Benchley.
Thank you, Mr. Lytell. I should like to address myself to you young men in uniform tonight. Before you're much older, you'll probably find yourselves in some remote part of the world or other where sometimes curious customs prevail. And before you are exposed to the quaint customs and habits of other peoples, it is perhaps just as well that you go forth armed with a few vital facts. This little talk to you boys, I hardly know how to begin. Perhaps Dear Harry would be as good a way as any. You've all doubtless seen during your walks in the country how the butterflies and bees carry pollen from one flower to another. Well, that isn't exactly what I'm driving at. Let's put it this way. The next time you're at your grocer's, take a look at his eggs. Of course, they're really some hen's eggs. Of course, I know that. But they belong to the grocer now, as he bought them, and is entitled to sell them, I think. If you look at these eggs, you'll see that each one is almost round, but not quite. They're more egg-shaped. Well, I guess this isn't a very good example either. Now, the rooster is an entirely different sort of bird from the hen. We skipped a little. Very proud and has a red crest on the top of his head. Now, this red crest is put there by Mother Nature so that the hen can see the rooster coming in a crowd and can hop into a taxi or make a previous engagement if she wants to. A favorite dodge of a lot of hens when they see this red crest of the rooster coming in their direction is to work up a sick headache. One of the happiest and most contented roosters I ever saw was one who had his red crest chewed off in a fight with a dog. He also wore sneakers. But before we take up this phase of the question, for it is a question, there's no doubt about that, let's go back to the fish kingdom. Now, fish are probably the worst example that you can find. In the first place, because they work underwater, and in the second, because they don't know anything. You won't find one fish in a million that has enough sense to come in when it rains. They're just stupid, that's all. And nowhere is their stupidity more evident than in their home life. Take, for example, the carp. The carp is one of the least promising of all the fish. He has practically no forehead and brings nothing at all to a conversation. Now, the mother carp is swimming around, shall we say, some fine spring day when suddenly she decides that it would be nice to have some children. So she makes out a deposit slip and deposits a couple million eggs on a rock. All of this goes on underwater, mind you, of all places. Now, this done, she adjusts her hat, powders her nose, and swims away, a woman with a past. Now, it's not until all this is over and done with that Papa enters the picture, and then only in an official capacity. Papa's job is very casual. He swims over a couple of million eggs and takes a chance that by sheer force of personality, he can induce half a dozen of them to hatch out. The remainder either go to waste or are blacked up to represent caviar. Are there any questions? Any answers? Well, now we turn from the elementary phases of the subject to the more understandable stages. Well, maybe not. Thank you and good night.
Well, fellows, you probably took Dr. Benchley's remarks in the spirit of fun, eh? Well, here are a few facts to take seriously. The captain of our canteen commissary, David Ross, speaks to you now. David?
Thank you, Bert. The United States Army selected dextrose food energy sugar as an important ingredient in Field Ration K. Now, Field Ration K is issued to all men on the fighting front as an emergency ration to sustain them when the going gets tough, when they need energy and endurance. Dextrose is the sugar your body uses directly for energy. So, whenever you think of energy, think of dextrose sugar, for dextrose is food energy in its purest form.
Our canteen show carries on. Raymond Page and the Canteen Orchestra play for us a beautiful arrangement of one of the most colorful of South American tangos, La Compasita. Boswell. Ray, here's an old friend of yours who wants to say hello.
Just going to get my breath. Oh, why, Luella Parsons. How are you, Luella?
Hey, Knight, I'm glad to see you and hear your beautiful music again.
Well, thank you so much. Seeing you reminds me of the old days when we were on that Hollywood hotel program together, remember? But what are you doing here tonight, Luella?
Well, Ray, I'm a bona fide canteen angel, and I'm enjoying every minute. The canteen really lives up to all I've been hearing about it from the boys.
And how are the canteen affairs going in Hollywood, Luella?
Fine, Bert. Thanks to the American Theater Wing, Stage Door Canteen here in New York, the Hollywood canteen is terrific.
Swell. How about telling us what's cooking out there, Luella?
Oh, there's so much I don't know where to start. But the opening night of the Hollywood canteen was wonderful. I was there with Greer Garson, and a handsome private came up to her and said, "Please, will you autograph my coat?" You know how practical Greer is. She said in her best English manner, "Oh, I say, won't it get you into trouble?" And he came back with, "Lady, I'll take the guardhouse anytime to get your name on my shirt."
Joan Bennett was here not so long ago, Luella. We were speaking of you.
Oh, how nice. You know, Joan runs the canteen, too. We held an impromptu auction at a party at the house for the benefit of the boys. We all sold our jewelry and clothing and whatever we had on.
Oh, Luella.
Now, Bert, I don't mean we did a Gypsy Rose Lee. How could you think that?
I didn't think that.
We sold our hankies, our handbags, and other things to raise money.
Oh, I know you've done a swell job, Luella. Oh, I hear that Katharine Hepburn's favorite director and my old friend George Cukor went into the Army as a private.
Yes, Bert, you know there's a very amusing story about him. When George enlisted, he faced a tough sergeant. You know the kind. We have them in the movie.
I had one in the Army.
Well, he went through some routine questions. What was your salary, Cooker, before enlisting? $4,000, said George. $4,000 a year? Right, said the sergeant. No, $4,000 a week, meekly corrected George. You see, I'm a motion picture director. Listen here, wise guy, said the sergeant. No smart remarks out of you. You're down at $4,000 a year. I'm doing the directing around here.
Luella, how's your good husband and my pal, Doc Martin?
Well, my favorite doctor is in Australia in the medical corps. And at his age, I'm proud of him, Bert.
I'll say.
As for me, my affections are divided. Half of me is true to the Army, and the other half to the Navy. You see, I joined the Naval Aid Auxiliary at the beginning of the war. But we're all on the same team.
And it's the team that's going to win, Luella.
You bet it is,
You
Bert.
bet. Thanks for coming.
Good night.
Fellows, our number one busboy in the canteen tonight puts down his tray, gathers 5 of his willing helpers around the piano, and it's time to take off with the number one swingster of the country, the Mr. Big of Jive, the king of swing, Benny Goodman.
Okay, guys, let's toss it around to I know that you know. Here it comes, canteen.
busboy. Busboy.
Well, come in.
Why, you're Eddie Green of Duffy's Tavern, aren't you?
Yes.
Well, will you wait on me a minute?
Oh, with pleasure.
Fine. What's on the menu tonight?
Well, it's a sort of French menu tonight. That's a free French menu.
Oh, fine.
Now, we got filet mignon, ragout d'abloh, fricassee à la reine.
Well, what do they mean?
Turkey hash.
Turkey hash.
Yeah, soldier, look, I'd like to do something important in this war.
Oh, you really would?
Yeah, you said it.
Well, how would you like to go to Africa, sneak up through the enemy lines, dodge the enemy tanks, and capture Rommel single-handed?
Now, wait a minute. Now, you letting your mouth run away with your imagination.
No. The orders are to proceed to Africa via the Pacific Ocean by submarine.
By what?
Submarine. You know, those boats that dive down underwater?
Oh, not me. No, I'm staying on terra firma. And the more firma, the less terror.
No, Eddie. Look, you get into the submarine.
Get in, huh?
Now you're at the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah.
You crawl for 12 days.
12 days?
And you know what you're doing that long on the bottom of the Pacific?
Inspecting the Japanese fleet.
No.
I ain't doing that.
Here's what you're doing. You're studying maps. You look over countless maps, knowing that one day these maps must be changed.
Yes.
You turn the pages, and suddenly you come across a picture of Hitler.
Well, that map can stand a little changing, too.
You said it.
Yes.
Well, sir, at the end of the 15th day, you cautiously put up the periscope of the submarine.
The what?
The periscope. The thing you can look over and see everything, and nobody can see you.
Oh, yeah. You mean like a transom?
Well, Eddie, you've now completed your perilous journey from the Pacific to the Atlantic Ocean and then to Africa.
Yeah.
You're finally on land. You've got to see General Eisenhower in Morocco for orders.
Yeah.
Now, the question is, where is the road to Morocco? I said, where is the road to Morocco?
At the Paramount.
No. You run across a French soldier, you see, and he tells you how to get there.
Oh, yeah.
In return, you give him a franc.
Maybe he'd rather have a hamburger.
Well, finally, you reach headquarters.
Yeah.
You meet General Eisenhower, General Patton, General Clark, and that man who holds all the airplane speed records, the man who led our flyers in Africa. He's Doolittle.
He's done plenty.
You said it. Well, Eisenhower gives you your instructions.
Yeah.
Gives you your emergency ration kit, a swift horse, some boots and spurs, and says, proceed through the jungle.
Yeah.
You do.
I do.
You do. Well, suddenly, you hear a lion roar. Now you get on that horse, and you give him the spur.
And he can have the boots, too.
Suddenly, 5 enemy dive bombers appear.
Oh, my goodness.
Well, sir, you're going as fast as you can on that horse, but the dive bombers are catching up to you.
Oh, yeah. Maybe I better get going under my own power and don't mess with that horse,
Suddenly a bomb hits in front of the horse. He throws you. A tank runs over you. 2 enemy soldiers get out. One clubs you, and the other one stabs you with a bayonet. But does this stop you?
Yeah.
No. No, it does not.
Well, it might not stop me, but it slowed me up considerably.
No, sir.
Yes.
No, sir, Eddie, you beat them up. And after beating them up, you're a little hungry.
Well,
so you, sure. You take out your emergency rations. You eat your powdered meat, your powdered vegetables, your bouillon cubes.
And my dextrose, which is quick energy sugar, and peps me up considerable.
Is that in your knapsack?
No, it's in my contract.
Now, Eddie, the Germans start coming after you. 2 million soldiers against you. But this is your chance. Your chance to capture Rommel and bring home his helmet as a souvenir.
What I need with a souvenir?
Now, wait a minute. You still have a few tricks left. Here's the king of the enemy forces. Where's your fighting heart?
Okay. I'll go in with my fighting heart. But if that king takes my trick, send a letter to my queen and tell her I played my hand, but I wound up on the stage.
Excuse me, Mr. Busboy Bensley.
Yes, Eddie?
You is an enlightened man.
Why, yeah, I guess that's...
But I got me some trouble.
Trouble, Eddie?
Yes, you see, I have trouble explaining to fellas, what is this something called dextrose?
Dextrose?
Yeah.
Why, dextrose...
I know what it is, and I know it's good for me, but maybe you could tell me something more about it.
Why, certainly, of course. Dextrose. DX. Well, you see, Eddie, dextrose is a sugar. Now, picture to yourself a little sugar. Are you picturing, Eddie?
Yes, Miss Spencer, but I ain't sure you and me have the same picture.
Well, maybe I can help you fellows out. Dextrose is a pure white sugar, sweet and cooling to taste. It's the natural fuel sugar which provides most of the energy and driving power of your body. While dextrose is found in many fruits and vegetables, it's derived chiefly from golden American corn grown by American farmers. Dextrose is produced in American factories by American companies. Dextrose is not sold directly to consumers, but is used as an important ingredient in many popular prepared foods such as candy, ice cream, canned fruits and fruit juices, soft drinks, jams, and other preserves. So whenever you see dextrose on the label of any foods you buy, you may be sure of its genuine food energy value.
Look for the Silver Lining, one of the best songs of all times, and Connie Boswell to sing it for us in Stage Door Canteen. Connie.
Look for the silver lining whenever a cloud appears in the blue. Remember somewhere the sun is shining, and so the right thing to do is make it shine for you. A heart full of joy and gladness will always banish sadness and strife. So always look for the silver lining and try to find the sunny side of life.
So join us next week at the same time on Corn Products Refining Company, one of the producers of pure dextrose, food energy sugar. Again presents Stage Door Canteen, starring Ilka Chase, Mary Martin, Georgie Jessel, Raymond Page, and a great show. This is Brett Lytell, officer of the day, saying good night and good luck.